Hello and welcome back to another episode of Teaching Partner. In today's video, let's try to understand the architecture of differentiation. Normally, differentiation is considered as difficult task during the classroom, and it usually people have misunderstanding about differentiation. Few days back, there was a dialogue on social media that caught my attention, wherein former teachers exchanged views regarding why they decided to leave their teaching position. One of the interesting comments I saw, one teacher mentioned that having to create lesson plans and differentiate for each of her 20 students was too much work, and according to her, that enough resources are not available. In her case, the concept of differentiated instruction turned to a very difficult and approximately impossible task. She might think that differentiation means she need to make 20 lesson plans for 20 students. Thanks to the work of Carol Ann, the famous educationist who was expert of differentiation, she explained that differentiated instruction is not individualized instruction. So let's try to understand what is differentiation actually mean and why differentiation is very important. The strongest argument for differentiation to me is looking at the kids sitting in the classroom. It's rare to go into the classroom where kids are all from the same language group, the same culture, the same socioeconomic status, and same background experience. And same applied in terms of abilities, area of weaknesses, and availability of resources with the students. One of the main benefits of differentiation, according to my view, like this is my thinking, is that it recognizes and respects the diversity of learners' backgrounds, experiences, interests and abilities. By acknowledging that students are not homogeneous, teacher can create personalized learning experiences that cater to the individual needs and preference of each learner. For example, some students may benefit from visual and auditory learning materials, they like it, while others may prefer kinesthetic, they want to move around the class, tactile or interactive activities. Moreover, some students may require extra support, they are weak in your class, some need positive feedback, and some students may require extension activities to meet their learning goals, while others may need more challenging activities. So differentiation allows teacher to address these needs and promote a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. Now there is a common question usually asked during different programs, teachers asking how can we differentiate our lessons. So we can differentiate our lessons in four main ways. Number one, varying content. It means we are changing up what is taught to the student. Number two, varying process. It means how I am going to teach my children. Number three, varying assessment. It means changing up how it is assessed by the teacher. And finally, varying learning environments means changing up to the context of learning. In this video, I will try to explain each method with relevant example to make it crystal clear for you. Don't worry, I will give subject-wise differentiated examples also in the description of the video. So one by one, let's understand all the four methods. Let's talk about the first one, varying content. Varying content means it includes curriculums, topic, concepts or themes. Differentiating contents may involve providing students the choice in order to add depth of learning. For example, some students want more knowledge about certain topic, or providing students with additional resources that match their levels of understanding. So let's discuss some example in this regard. Teacher can use pre-assessment to determine where students need to begin. They match students with appropriate activities. For example, you can try student-teacher conference as short as a 5-minute talk. K&W chart, you can give an option to write down what you know about it and what you want to know about it. They can create a concept map, you can make a small pre-test or ask student reflection. You can use Bloom's taxonomy to encourage thinking that content of several levels. Now let's talk about the second types of differentiated process. It means you have to provide varied options of different level of difficulty or based on different student interest, offering different amounts of teacher and student support for a task. So you can give choices about how students express their understanding, and you can also vary the learning process depending on how students learn. For example, you can offer some hands-on support for students who need them. You can make the differentiated process in terms of changing the length of time in order to provide additional support for a struggling learner, or to encourage an advanced learner to pursue a topic in greater depth. It means like you can give extra time for a student who is weak, and you can ask extra question the student who finished the task earlier. You can also provide access to the variety of material that target different learning preference. For example, you can give one group an article to read and find out the answers from there. One group of students can watch a video and find out the answer. One of the group might see the article of an expert and they are going to find out. So we can develop different activities that targets auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learners. We can also establish areas or stations for inquiry based or independent activities. We can also use flexible grouping to group and regroup students, for example according to their content, ability, interest. You can make high achievers group, low achievers group, or mixed ability groups. So this is also the way of making differentiation in terms of process. Let's move to the third part of it, differentiated by products. It means differentiated by assessment. It's tend to be tangible. For example, reports, tests, brochures, speeches, and performance will be differentiated and should be reflect student understanding. This kind of differentiation involves providing challenge, variety, and choices, giving student options about how to express required learning. For example, you can ask them to create a puppet show, or someone asked to write a letter or develop an automated diagram. When we say that to differentiate product, it allows students to help design product around learning intentions and goals. Let me give you more examples. For example, you can encourage students to express what they have learned in varied ways. Allowed for varied working arrangements, alone or a group, for formative assessments. Provide and encourage the use of varied types of resources in preparing products. Provide products assignments to varied degree of difficulties to match student readiness. For example, you can give the hard target for the high achievers and comparatively easy target for low achievers. But you can do this is mostly in formative assessments. You can work with students to develop rubrics that match and extend students' varied skills level. So these are the examples which you can apply in your classroom to make the differentiation in terms of product, assessment. Finally, let's talk about the differentiating with the learning environment. So when we talk about the learning environment, it means the climate of the classroom. It includes the operation and tone of the class, means class rules, furniture arrangements, lighting, procedures, and processes. Differentiated of learning environment involves considering the look and feel of the classroom. You should provide a student a safe and positive environment for learning. It's also include your own personality reflection, how like you are going to behave with the students. Are you smiling in the class? Are you very strict? Your face, you look stressed, or how you are looking. That is also an impact on a student. It's also count as a differentiation of your environment. You can also align the individual work preferences. You can also manage the learning space. To differentiate the learning environment, you make sure that the place in the room to work is quietly and without distraction, as well as you have a places that invite students collaboration. If your classrooms are small, you can ask students to take all the bags outside of the classroom, so there will be a place for them. Or you can arrange them in different ways, sometime in sitting in the pairs, sometime they should sit in the groups, or you can sometime remove all the chairs and tables and let them sit on the floor to just enjoy and make and feel the change of the environment. It's also provide materials that reflect a variety of cultures and home settings. You can set out a clear guidelines for independent work that matches individual needs. Also, you can develop routines that allow students to get help when teachers are busy with other students and cannot help them immediately. You can also help students understand that some learners need to move around or learn while others do better sitting quietly. So some are kinesthetic, some are really quiet, calm and doing the work. Sometimes we can vary the places where learning occurs. For example, you can take the students in the lab, in the library, or outside in the park or open area. That also make difference. according to the topic. For example, for you are your English teacher and you have a storytelling lesson, you can take your students outside the ground, let them sit if the weather is good, so they can sit over there and talk about the story. If they have a drama practice, they can do. If you have a science experiment, they can do outside and do something. If there is a math lecture, you can take them outside making drawn columns and try to generate something good from this. So this all are considered as the differentiation in terms of their environment. Similarly, you can use alternative seating, group and regroup with the students with different abilities to make your classroom environment changed. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video is very useful for you. So thank you very much. If you have any question, query, or you need any support for making a decision, don't hesitate to write an email to theteachingpartner@gmail.com. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Goodbye.